talking about SMIW, we really have to go back to the very beginning. And SMIW started how I believe a lot of things start, and that's just being the fan of something. I was a fan of professional wrestling at a very young age. I remember, being in the backyard with my brother and my dad and just, wrestling around together when we were very young and, trying to pin each other and, that sort of thing. And,
we had the trampoline out back there for a little while doing that. And, I remember we used to wrestle around with Dad all the time, even in the apartments. I do remember that slightly.
I'd been wrestling with my uncle, my brother, and stuff at home all the time. We even had them stupid little WWE stuffed doll things as Stone Cold and Hulk Hogan and crap. We would jump off the dressers in our trailer and just elbow drop. Man, and at the time I had a big thing for Randy Savage. So, I was always doing that pumping elbow drop off the top of a dresser. That was cool. But
Daniel and I also had the action figures and, a bunch of the different toys, the t-shirts, a lot of that stuff. So we were fans at a very young age.
I remember we had multiple wrestling rings, for our action figures and stuff like that. And, our entire bedroom floor would just be filled with that stuff. We had the foam and plastic replica belts.
Daniel and I, we would catch wrestling on TV as often as we could. We grew up during that Attitude Era. We had, the Stone Cold Steve Austins, the Rocks, the Undertakers, a lot of the real big names, the Shawn Michaels, all those guys. And growing up watching that, a lot of kids, grow up with superheroes, the DC and Marvel comic book characters and things of that nature. I didn't really get into that. That wasn't really something I got into. The wrestlers that I saw every Monday night on Raw is War, those guys were my superheroes. And it made an impact on me very, very early on in my life, seeing what these guys were doing, physically, the storylines. I'm a very big sucker for a good story, so the storyline is good, the characters, draw you in. There was so much about it that I loved, and I gravitated towards that.
It's just something that's been a lifelong interest, and as we got older, I'm not so much interested in the mainstream wrestling product as much as we used to be, but overall it's still been of lifelong interest.
I think looking back on that today, there was a part of me that always wanted to be a professional wrestler, even though at the time I may not have known it.